morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. The Hessa here. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. I'm so happy to be here and I'm so glad that I actually get to do this today. Why? Why? Because I actually wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to do this live here today. Yesterday was, especially yesterday evening, was quite a rough evening. I wasn't feeling so well in my body. Just full transparency, I just got my COVID vaccine number two on Friday. It was all okay until yesterday. And I was very, very, very shaken by it in my body. It felt like there was a war going on inside of my body. I don't remember having, it's been a long, long time since I felt that bad in my body. But it's okay now. Like this morning, I woke up so grateful that I'm most of the time very healthy. So grateful that I'm feeling really good in my body, and determined never to take feeling good for granted again. And I'm also very grateful that I actually got this opportunity to have this vaccine. All right, to have had this vaccine. If you are here, can you say hello? I know there are some of you already here. And today's topic is how to turn your pain, fears, and doubt into growth and abundance in your life, right? So, the past few weeks, even just last week alone, there's been so much processing. There's been so much processing, so much transmuting, so much transformation for me. And one thing that I have promised myself for a while now is to always be true to my own transformation, true to myself. And so today I'm going to share some of that with you here. Today I'm going to share some of that with you here. What is going on? No, don't show. All right. And the reason why, like I decided to do this topic, this topic again just came up this morning. And because I really live and breathe these these principles that I'm going to share with you here today. It didn't take me very long to actually lay it out, and so that I could share with you here, right? So many of us, most of us, if not all of us, right? We somewhere somehow have had some sort of trauma in our lives, some sort of shocks in our lives, some sort of conditioning, right? Some sort of conditioning, some sort of things that were not really, really desirable for us, that we didn't want, right? Technically didn't want in our lives. And a lot of the times, those are the reasons behind actually why we are not able to to create, or we are not able to fully be in our own creation, right? A lot of it's like, for me, even the past few weeks, like I'm sharing now, even my ability, like I've been amazed at my ability to create and to manifest the things in my life. Why? Right? How did I get here? Right? And when I'm talking about this, when I say manifest and create in my life, right? I was sharing this with the ladies in Energy Immersion Circle this past week. Well, yesterday, how for me, even like for the purpose of creating money, or for the purpose of creating growth in my business, or all the goals that I have now today in my life and in my business, the main purpose for me having those goals, right? It is who I'm going to become, who I'm going to transform into, right? Who I'm going to transform into in the process of reaching for those goals, in the process of attaining those goals. And I was sharing how I feel pretty fulfilled already in my life. Does it mean that things are not going to happen for me, that are going to be hard, that are going to be challenging? No, it doesn't mean that. Actually, that's the whole point, right? The whole point is that we always challenge ourselves, and that we like forever expand, forever expand, continuously keep expanding. Here's the thing, right? And I used to experience this, and I used to believe this also. I used to think that, you know, not that I used to think, let me rephrase that, right? Maybe I used to think, maybe I used to believe that also. How a lot of all these traumatic things that have happened to us in our lives, how there are actually different ways to heal them. Does it make sense? So when we've had these things, let's say for example, let me give the like specific example of like maybe like if you're a coach or you have like a goal for yourself or creating something in your life. For the process of you creating and manifesting those things, of course there's a part of the mindset, right? My mind has to align. My mind has to align with believing that this is possible for me. My mind has to align with that, right? But in addition to that, I also have to take action, right? I also have to take action. And by taking action, I'm moving energy towards my goals and my dream. Make sense? So with that said, while taking action, I'll give the example of like coaching, for example. Like if you are an online coach, or again, you can apply this to any area of your life, right? uh, there's a part that, okay, maybe you have like a goal for yourself. Maybe you have a vision for creating your coaching business, for example. It takes again aligning your mind and believing and knowing that this is possible for me and I'm going to do this no matter what. Or the other part is it takes you taking action, right? It takes you taking action. It's actually in the taking action that much of the healing happens, right? It is actually in the taking action that all of your wounds actually come up, right? This is the point that I really really want to share today, right? Because when we look at this, we can look at it from two perspectives, right? A lot of the times we can, and I used to believe this, and I used to believe that it's because XYZ happened to me in my life before, right? Then let me wait until I actually heal that completely before I go for my dream. Or I can go from the perspective of, despite everything that happened to me, I'm actually going to do it anyways, right? I'm actually going to do it anyways. So these are two different perspectives. And depending on the amount of energy, right? The amount, okay, this is really, really important. Depending on the amount of energy that you have, will actually determine where your mind will go with this, right? Will determine where your mind will go with this. Let me explain what I mean, right? Around our body, right? Around your body, around my body, around the earth itself, around your body, my body, the earth itself, we have what? We have electromagnetic field, right? We have electromagnetic field. So when our electromagnetic field is weak, right, we really can fall into what word do I want to use for this? We really can fall into our own limitations, our own limiting beliefs, right? When our energy is weak, like I experience this all the time. When my energy is weak, that's when I'm like, oh my God, poor me. Let somebody else do this for me and stuff like that. But when my energy is strong, right? When my electromagnetic field is strong, that's when I'm like more like master consciousness, more like I can do this. I know this may have happened, even though I don't even know what happened to me, or like in the past and stuff like that. And it's like the conditioning that is behind this, even though I may or may not even know what it is, in my mind I'm always like, right, when I have the energy, when my electromagnetic field is very very strong, then I'm more like in my master consciousness. I'm more like in my, I can do this no matter what, right? And that is when I actually have the power. That's when you have the power to still go for your dreams, even though maybe you show up, for example, and there's no one to watch you, right? Because what is all this, right? What is all this? What is behind this is a lot of the times fear of rejection, right? Fear of rejection, wanting other people's love for us, right? I talk about this all the time, right? Not feeling like we are good enough, right? That actually, all those things, these limiting beliefs are just garbage, actually. It is just garbage that we picked up from here and there. That is really clouding. What it's really doing is clouding our energetic field, right? But how can you remove that? By purifying your energy field, right? This is why, like in energy, I was speaking with one of the members of Energy Immersion Circle yesterday. She was sharing with me how, like, she was doing one of the trainings or one of the mornings, and she's brand new actually, and she after she did the training and she went out, she felt like, oh my God, like she's feeling so good and she's feeling so joyous and she's feeling blah, blah, blah. Why? Because all the cloudiness around the energy field, right? When you do that, right, because she purified her energy field, right? And so, how do you transform? How do you transform your pain, right? Your fears, right? Your doubts into a growth, into abundance in your life, right? How do you do that? How do you do that? First of all, by knowing that every single human, right, whether they have created huge, tremendous growth in their lives or whether they have not, right? Every single human has everything that you are going through right now, right? I think for me, for the longest time, one of the things that, because I'll look at other people, right? I'll look at, okay, oh, this person made it big. This person made it big. This person created this in their lives. And for me, I believed that they never had to go through the challenges that I was facing, right? And one thing that, like, I think it is such a, like something that is like really very, very, very important to my heart somehow now, is that I share, like, this is my knowing now, this is my experience now, that it is normal to have doubt, right? It is normal to have fears. It's normal to have doubts. It's normal to have fears. And even though I may have doubts, even though I may have fears, right? Where can I gain the power to still go? This is where we fall short a lot of the time, right? Even though I have doubt, even though I have fears, how can I still do it? This is where, for me, energy trainings come in very, very strongly. There are days I wake up and I doubt myself big time, right? It's not that I never doubt myself. There are days I wake up, I am down. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? What the hell are you doing, Tehessa? Right? You have to know that doubt is actually a very integrated part of your brain for our own protection. It is such an integrated part of our brain, right? Inside our brain, the brain was created that way, to have doubt, to have calculation, right? To have, to be able to analyze XYZ. But at the same time, inside of our brain, we have this purified part, right? Which, the more you increase the particles of energy in your energy field, the more you can get in touch with that part. And so the more you get in touch with that part, the more you can be like, oh, yes, I have doubt. Oh, that's normal, right? But like that part of your brain, your true being, your true essence, because like literally, it's really literally tapping into the cosmos itself, right? The universe itself. That part will be like, oh yeah, that's normal. Oh yes, that's normal. But even though all you have doubts, if even though you've had pain in the past, right? Even though you having fears right now, even though all that, we can still do it. What it takes is actually increased energy in your energy field, right? And so the reason why I say this now is, the more, right, I have experienced this over and over and over and over again, the more I increase the particles in my energy field, the closer I get to that other part of my true being, which is garbage less, right? Garbage is really picked up like from our mind, from our experiences, from maybe trauma that we've had, and so on and so forth, right? And so by increasing the amount of particles, right? Literally manifestation. And I've been talking about this quite a while, especially in my energy immersion circle. I share this all the time. Yesterday I was sharing how again, I think I just talked about it earlier. Like I feel pretty fulfilled in my life, right? Not because of I have XYZ, not because of what I have or don't have in my life, not because of what I have created or not created in my life. It's because energetically, I know how to connect with myself, right? Doesn't mean that I never ever feel disconnected. That doesn't mean that at all, right? I'm just so grateful that I can rely on this part of who I am, no matter what happens in my life, whether things are going on accordingly or not accordingly to how I want it, right? Um, and when we gain that power, we really, really gain creative power, right? Because then we can look at our data and say, oh, okay, well, I know you know that part. I know you just want to protect me, right? Regardless of what happened in the past. I now, at this given moment, I have the power to tap into this other part of who I am, right? A lot of the times, again, it's about like fear of being rejected, fear of not being accepted, right? Fear of not feeling good enough. But when we tap into that part of who we are, we already know, we already feel it, right? And so not feeling good enough, it's just like an illusion, right? Like it's just like a mind thing, right? It's just like a mind thing, right? Which is what I was talking about earlier. It's just garbage, right? It's just garbage that we picked up here and there, right? But by literally spinning, by increasing the amount of energy that you have in your field, right? By increasing the amount of energy that you have in your field, the amount of particles that you have in your field, you can get to the place where you're like, oh, okay, well, that's garbage, right? You can look at it and say to yourself, oh, yes, that happened, but it no longer has power over me, right? And again, like when you are drained of that energy, then you really fall into poor me. You can really easily fall into, oh, I can't do this right now because XYZ. You can really easily fall into that. It makes sense? I can't, for some reason, I cannot see any comments here. I'm so sorry if you are writing comments. For some reason, I cannot see the comments today, but it's what it is. All right. So, what was I going to talk about? Right. And so today, of course, by the end of this training, we'll do something a little bit to increase our vibration. But that's what I wanted to share with you, right? That's what I wanted to share with you. Whether we are in a space of, oh, I don't believe that I can do this right now, or we are in a space of, despite everything that has happened, I'm determined, I'll do this, right? I'm decided I'll do this, I can do this, right? I go into those two spaces all the time, right? Less often now do I go into the space, very less often do I go into the space of, oh, I can't do this. I rarely go there anymore. That's because I have actually increased, like really, like practice this over and over and over and over again and recreated different stories for myself, like literally, because I have practiced this over and over and recreated differently, rewrote a lot of my history, right? Rewrote a lot of my history. But no matter what, right, all of us are capable of being in this spot or in this other spot, right? So no matter where you are, no matter where we are, like there's no need for us to beat ourselves for anything, right? There's no need. There's no need. And for me, the way that I look at it is, if I'm here, like, because now I have actually become very, very aware, right? When I can feel myself, like if you are here and you are at my Sedona retreat, at the retreat we often talk about like master consciousness and victim consciousness, right? Victim consciousness is the consciousness where you are like, oh, this happened to me, right? Poor me. and stuff like that, right? We all get there, depending on where you are energetically. We get there. It's part of life, right? We can either be there, or we can be in the master consciousness where we're like, oh, I'm love, I'm creative, I can do this, right? I'm beautiful, and all this, right? What it takes really, it's really just frequencies, right? Raising your frequencies. And what does it take to raise your frequency? It's literally, it's about pulling more particles into your energy field. And that's all it is, right? For me, it's been very magical to actually come to that realization that I have the power to actually do this. I have to build the power to heal myself, right? And how do I heal myself? By, despite all the pain, despite all the doubt, despite all the fears, by always picking a vision and a goal, and knowing that by going for that goal, by going for that vision, right? Being very, very aware, but throughout the journey of me reaching that goal or vision that I have never created in my life before, I have to become somebody else. I will have to face myself in many ways. I will have to encounter many of my own limitations. I will have to encounter many of my challenges. When I encounter these challenges, that's not the time for me to say to myself, oh, I cannot do this now, right? And sometimes I may say that to myself. And when I am in that space, it is because I know I need to pull in more energy into my field, right? I literally need to just raise my frequency to that frequency of unconditional love, frequency of acceptance, frequency of XYZ. That's what I was sharing with you earlier, how when, like, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm, oh my god, what is, like, sometimes I even, especially when I'm doing something new, especially when I'm creating something new that I've never created before, right? It almost feels like death. It almost feels like, oh my god, right? It almost feels like I want to run away, right? Who's ever felt that way? I want to run away, I don't want to do this anymore, right? That's actually the thing. Those are the things that actually keep us from really going for it, right? I don't want to do this. I want to run away. I can't do this anymore, right? And when I feel like that, all I literally I've become aware of is, all that means is, oh my God, you are in your victim consciousness. You are energetically weak. You are energetically weak. And often, what I'll do is, when I feel myself like that, what I'll do is I'll literally get myself up and I'll do my energy training. I'll accumulate energy, right? And before I know it, like, I'm full of joy. I'm really radiant again, and I'm doing the things that I didn't believe that I could do again. And the magical part of this is that then my brain start going up, like, with, oh, that's how you can do this. Like, ideas just pop up, right? And then so when these ideas pop up, now it is my choice. It's my decision to pick the ideas that resonate with me and to take action, and to take action with my mind. And, oh, this is what we're creating, this is what we're creating, this is what we're creating, right? This is how this is how, I have been practicing this over and over and over and over again, over and over and over again. This is how, I actually haven't shared this publicly. I shared this with my energy immersion circle ladies. I share so much of them, right? Recently, some of you may be aware of this. We are preparing to move to, we currently live in Colorado. We are preparing to move to South Dakota in a few months. And so we decided to actually sell our house before we moved to, like, we moved to an apartment. I'm currently in an apartment right now. We moved to an apartment, and then we put our house up for sale in in Colorado, so that we can sell the house and then go buy another house in South Dakota. I kid you not. These are the same principle. When you actually know this, you can apply this everywhere. You can apply this in every single area of your life. So the story behind this. So in our neighborhood, right now, in our, like development over there, people have put their houses on the market, and usually it takes them about 2-3 months to sell their houses. But we literally, like literally, the same things I'm talking about here, like the same practices. This is exactly right. Two things, right? Number one is mind, putting the mind to the place where you decide, right? You decide what it is that you want to create. That was the number one thing. So we decided within 1 week, we actually gave ourselves 1 week for us to get an offer on the house. We gave ourselves 1 week, right? We literally sat down and we said, honey, okay, 1 week, right? Yes, 1 week, right? And then literally we did our mind thing, right? And then, of course, he and I, we do our energy trainings. Because we know that's everything. When your energy field is weak, right, the attraction is weak, right? This is the law of attraction, actually. When your magnetic field is weak, your attraction is weak, right? When your energy field is strong, your attraction is strong. So how does it work? Where your mind goes, you can create, right? Where your mind goes, you can attract, right? So there's two parts to this. Where your mind goes, what your mind is thinking about, right? The second part is increasing your magnetism, right? Literally increasing your magnetism, right? So even in energy immersion circle, this is what we talk about all the time. Your mind, how to purify your mind, how to align your mind with your goals and your desires and whatever you want to create, right? How to believe that it's possible for you, how to literally just have your mind there, as opposed to the opposite, the fears of not having it and stuff like that, which means if you are afraid of it, then all your energy is being directed towards what you don't want to create, right? So step number one is really aligning your mind with your creation. Step number two is increasing your magnetism, your energetic field, right? Increasing your energetic, like the strength of the magnetism in your energy field, right? So we do that, and so we do everything that we know now that we've been practicing for a while now. Can I tell you, right? So our mind was, so we did. And then the number three, of course, is you have to take action, right? You have to take appropriate action. So the third thing that we did is, of course, we took action. We cleaned up the house. We made it very visible, like very like appealing to the eye, right? We cleaned the house, right? If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw some of that, like while we were going through it, while we were moving out of the house, while we were doing the cleaning and the painting and all that. I shared that on my Instagram story. If you don't follow me there, yeah, you can follow me there, right? The recipe. All right. So we did all that, but while, like in our heart, right? Literally, like I remember like removing things from my closet, and I'm thinking, the people that are going to be living here are going to be so lucky. The next people that are going to be living, not the, like, because in the past, that my mindset of, okay, please somebody buy this house. No, it wouldn't be like that, right? It was more like the people, because this is so valuable, right? I believe, like, I know how valuable this house is, and literally we poured our heart energy into the house, which means energy of love into the house. When people come into the house, they cannot see it with their eyes, but they can literally feel it with the heart and with their energy, right? So there was uh, a ton of energy of love in the house, right? And there was a ton of, like, there was this thing we talk about, like in energy, life particles, right? Life particle energy, which means pure light in the house, right? And then we surrendered. Like the day we finished it, we surrendered. We're like, okay, it's done, right? And we said to us, are we giving it ourselves 1 week? We'll have at least one good offer on this house, and within 1 week, this will be done. Less than 24 hours later, we got one offer. That one offer was 10,000 below our asking price. Like, I'm getting so many chills right now. The same day, like, my husband and I were sitting on the couch. We were like, okay, well, we'll see what happens, right? A couple of hours later, we had a second offer, which was 25,000 above our asking price. No fuss, no muss, like nothing with the inspections. The person is ready to close like in a few days, like right, like next month, a few days, like beginning of the next month. There is no fuss about it. The next day we signed, we agreed, we signed the agreement, and we are closing, right? And I'm telling you, this is not an accident. This was by design, right? This is not like, and it isn't like some sort of arrogance. It could have gone any other way, right? It could have gone any other way, depending on where we were energetically, depending on where we were in our mind, right? Depending on where we are in our mind, depending on where we are energetically. But we surrendered and we're like, okay, there was no arrogance around it at all. It was like we did everything in our power, we did everything from our part, and we surrendered to the universe. Made the best thing happen, right? Made the best thing happen. And so it was. And this is how we apply this everywhere in our lives. And at this, in the same token, no matter what, if I'm pursuing, doesn't mean like at any given moment do I always get all my goals and my dreams like to manifest at the exact time that I want it to manifest. No, I can give you many examples where I haven't, right? But at any given moment, I never, this is one trait that I have developed in the past few years, is I never give up, right? Unwavering. I never give up. If that is really, really important to me, if I do not reach my goal, like, and I'll highly suggest, right, you do this if you are consciously pursuing goals and dreams in your life at any given moment. If I reach my goals, I celebrate. If I don't reach a goal, I ask myself, what did I learn from here? You know, what did I need to learn for me to reach that goal? Right? A lot of the times, and I'm going to say this, right? A lot of the time, it is about increasing your emotional intelligence. I don't even know if that makes sense to you, right? Because everything is about our emotions, how we feel, how we're trying to avoid feeling a certain way. That's all it is. That is all it is. That's all it is. Yeah. I'm not saying, well, there's more, a little bit more to that, but a lot of it is that, right? If a lot of the, even in my business, whenever I'm growing, and whenever like I feel stuck, a lot of the time it's because I'm trying to avoid an emotion. I'm trying to avoid something. Or I need to increase my maturity emotionally. A lot of the time that's what it is. You know, a lot of the times that's what it is. Can you hear me okay? Okay, you can hear me okay, right? I actually never asked. You said, okay, somebody, I finally saw a comment. I don't know what's going on with the comments today, but it's what it is, right? And so for me, that's been my life for the past 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years now. It's been like literally, this is a muscle that I have increased over and over and over again. And a lot of the times, hi, Brenda. Brenda said, okay, now finally, comments are coming in. It wasn't coming in before it started to come in. I'm blocking my emotions today. Brenda, why are you blocking your emotions today? Can you share with me? Yeah, because it feels too painful. Yeah, yeah. And I've worked with, can I tell you how just grateful I am that I have gotten to work with such amazing beings in the world, and through that I have expanded so much. One of the things that I notice a lot, especially when like people come to me and maybe they maybe they have depression, or maybe they're going through some like literally like a lot of things like stagnance, like energy in the body, a lot of pain and stuff like that. It's because a lot of the times, or a lot of the time, we kind of blocking, like suppressing our emotions a lot, right? Because today I was supposed to go to my get my COVID shot for the second one, and my emotions got control of it, and I'm too scared to go. Okay. All right, Brenda. Hopefully, we will get you there with our energy training at the end of this class so that you can get to the space where you feel like you can go. All right. Yeah. All these feelings, all these rejections, all that. It's literally about a lot of it. It's literally about uh, the disconnect that there is between us and us, right? The disconnect, right? Because once we connect to that other part of who we are, we're more like, oh, I can do this. Anything is possible. Let me share my story about the COVID vaccine with you. To be honest with you, I thought about it a lot of the time. I thought about it. I thought about, do I want to take this vaccine? Do I not want to take this vaccine? Right? One part of why would I want to take this one? I'll actually share the foundation before I share whether or not and whether like all the thought process that went into my mind. For me, I believe that within us we have our own ability of recovering our health within us. We have already a built-in system, right? We already have a built-in system for creating health in our body. Our natural state is a healthy state, right? I believe that 100%, right? I also believe that when needed, it is okay. It is okay to use things that we created this too, right? We as a human, we created this. For what purpose? Some part of our divinity probably created this, right? Right? If something is of this world, like anything that we have in this in our lives, there's always a positive side to it. There's always a negative side to it, right? So I ask myself, if I have the ability and I know all these principles, right, to create immunity in my body, in my life, what are the reasons why I need or I would take this vaccine? And one of the biggest reasons was for others, not just for me, right? I have to think about me. I also have to think about others. I have to think about me and not just me, my own freedom, my own blah, 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 all these stories, right? This is another way we trap ourselves, right? But like if we can increase our consciousness to not just me, right? Good for me and also good for others. Good for me and also good for others, right? And so that was point number one. Point number two was, just like I said earlier, within me, I have self-healing ability. I have a built-in system, right? So the second reason why maybe some people might be like, right, you make your own choice, like no judgment at all here, right? The second reason people are very worried is that, oh, this vaccine was created so fast, right? I don't know what the side effects are going to be on me, right? And the same principle apply. And so when I thought about that and I said to myself, within me, right? It's not a vaccine that's going to create a disease within me. Just like it's not a virus that's going to make me die. It is my inability. Both ways, it will be my inability, my body's inability to cope with either A or B that actually creates me being sick, me being dead, me XYV, right? So that's how I processed my thing. This is how I processed it. And I'm like, okay, so then there's nothing to worry about, right? But there is a plus to this, is that if I do it, then it's not just for me, but it's for me and also for others. And then I did. I did yesterday, no, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, on Friday, was my second dose. I took the second dose. It was really shaky, especially yesterday. Oh my God, there was like a battle in my body. I've never felt that bad like in a long time in my life. But like I was very accepting of it. I was accepting of the pain, right? I let it just run its course. And then this morning I woke up and I was feeling so good and so grateful. And so grateful that I was feeling good, and also so grateful that I actually got to do this vaccine. There are people who may not necessarily want the vaccine. That's their choice. And then there are people who really want the vaccine right now that don't have access to the vaccine right now, right? And so that was my processing. That's how I process me, me taking, deciding to actually get the shot, deciding to get the vaccine. But that's my choice, right? Everybody gets to make their choices. Everybody gets, and you have to trust your own choices. You have to know what's best for you, right? And for others. Best for you and best for others, right? Because of that, okay, I know if there's anybody in this work that can make me feel more comfortable to do things that I need to do, that would be you. Oh, thank you, Brenda. I love you. Nice to see you here. All right. So, uh, okay, I think I think somehow some of it is being very, very delayed. Some of the comments are being very, very delayed, and some of it are coming. I don't know what's happening. All right. So I see I've done my first one already, and I was fine. It's the second one that I'm worried about. It's okay. You're going to be okay, Brenda. Yeah. It's your choice. At the end of the day, I here's the other thing that I believe. This is okay. I love that we get to chat this way. Here's the other thing that I know and I believe, because our mind creates everything, right? Which is why I'm very careful a lot of the times what kind of information I'm putting out there. But again, like everybody should, right, become the master of their own um, mind or thoughts. I don't know what I want to say about this, right? So, like, let's say, for example, food, right? We all have, like, we all know, right? All of us know that there is certain food that really, like, make our body feel alive and feel so, like, thrive and like filled with energy and all that. And we all know, right, that there are certain food, right? And again, food reacts on people differently. There are certain food that may make you feel sluggish, that make you feel sick, that may make you feel one way or another, right? So that's information, a lot of it, right? For me now, it's not a lot of, because I actually do not like grab other people's information all willy-nilly anymore. I like to have my own experiences. Yes, I can say, oh, okay, that sounds good. I'll experience it for myself. But a lot of the time, like I know, like maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I bought into healthy food, not healthy food. Like there is all these categories where like, we always go through these trends where like wheat is not okay. Fruit, like there's been a time where like the people say like fruit, this kind of fruit is not okay. Or this kind of is not okay, like that, right? And then we input this information, right, into our mind. Right. And so when we are like, this is so important. When we are eating that kind of food, right? Let's say, for example, I'm not a big fan of McDonald's, right? Or I'm not a big fan of junk food, or I'm not a big fan of fast food. I'm not a big fan, right? That's a given. But if one day I decide that I want to have the ice cream from McDonald's, right? And then I go grab it. And then in my mind, I'm telling myself, oh, this is so bad. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, this is so bad. I'm poisoning myself. Does it make sense? If I'm doing that, and in the same token, you could be eating broccoli, and the mind you are eating broccoli with can either nourish your body or poison your body. I'm not saying that like everything actually comes with its own information, but your mind has the power to transform anything, right? So if I'm eating even like ice cream and I'm like, oh, I'm enjoying this so much, right? In some way, this is nourishing me at some level. And I literally like embrace it all, as opposed to one part of me feeling guilty that I'm eating ice cream, and another part of me feeling like, oh, I really want to eat this and I'm eating this. I'm poisoning my body. Tell me if this makes sense to you, right? So the reason why I'm saying this is that yes, you may have heard information from XYZ that this and this and this and this may happen, right? That's okay. You can decide for yourself. Even though this and this may happen, I will be okay. I can be okay. The best thing, I always say this to myself, what is best for my greater good will happen. What is best for my greater good will happen. What is best for my greater good and for the greater good of all will happen. May what's best for the good of all happen. It makes sense, Brenda? Yeah. I know why there will be fear around it. So you get to decide. Yeah, you get to decide. Either way, you get to decide. You can decide, hey, I don't want to do this, but I'll be okay. You can also decide, I will do this, but I'll be okay. Right? But like I'll caution going into something with lots of like a conflict in your mind, right? But it comes down to your decision, right? You, Brenda, you know how to like we'll do this, like we'll kind of purify a little bit our energy field today to brighten you up, and then you let me know at the end how you feel, how you feel. Gina said, Brenda, if you have confusion, that's a sign that you should go inner and trust yourself, because fear and God cannot dwell in the same space. Uh, don't feel forced to do anything, just my opinion. Yeah, I agree with that too. You get to choose, you get to decide. Yeah, you get to decide. You get to decide what you want to do. Either way, it's your decision. Either way, it can be fine. It doesn't have to be one way or another. Yeah, it doesn't have to be one way or other. It's like we have been so conditioned, right? We have been so conditioned to believe that this way is the only way or this other way is the only way. No, you get to decide. It's your choice. Everything is our choices. Everything is our choice. Yeah. I hope that makes sense, right? I hope that makes sense. But at the end of the day, for me, my intention always is I always know, like whether we are aware of it or not, or whether we are consciously thinking about it or not, the universe itself um, is evolving as it should, right? The universe itself is evolving as it should for the greater good of all. For even the things that we think are so bad, right? That's another thing that for me has been so like what do you say, impacting, has been to let go of, we are so attached, which it's another illusion, right? We are so attached to good and bad, right and wrong. This is so wrong. This is so bad. This is so, I'm a good person. No, no. If we are being so attached to being such a good person, here's the reality. The reality is every single one of us is capable of anything. Believe it or not. Every single one of us is capable of anything. In fact, everything that we probably are judging right now as being bad, we probably have done in some way or another. Everything that we judge as, I'm such a good person, that's ego right there, and it's the highest. Is you know what I mean? Yeah. So this is so good, this is so bad. How dare they? At least I'm not that bad. At least I haven't done that. But in fact, you have. Right? It's funny. I'm saying, like, especially like if you believe in past lives, for example, yes, you have. Depending on the condition, depending on what's happening in your life at the time and now, right? Because a lot of us, right? A lot of us, so many of us, our like animal instinct is survival. Our animal instinct is survival. You have to know, we all have to know that within me, This was such a huge awakening for me. This was, let me trace this back. I think this was an awakening in maybe like 2017 for me. Yeah, I think it was like 4 years ago. And it changed my life. It changed my life because, like, my whole entire life, I wanted to be this good girl. There's good and there's bad, and there's darkness, and then there's light, there's pure, and then there's tinted, and all these things, which I'm not saying there isn't, right? But all that is part of me. And I used to fight so hard against my ego. My ego is such a bad thing. I'm going to fight against it. Right? And I remember getting so angry when somebody would tell me, "Oh, it's your ego." And I'll get so angry about it. And then I come to realize it's actually such a normal part of who I am, right? It's not a part that I need to reject. What I have come to realize is that within me, I have my dark part. Within me, I also have the brightest part of me. Depending on any condition, depending on my energy levels, depending on whatever is happening at any given moment, I'm capable of anything. And so, what's my job, right? Is with if within me I have the darkness, right? And within me at the same time, I also have light, right? I can embrace my darkness and at the same time increase my light. And the more I increase my light, the more I'm able to actually embrace my darkness and know that it's all part of me and that I don't have to reject any part of me. I do not have to reject any part of me. Because when we do that, that's actually when we really, like, it's like we fracture ourselves. We become like bits of pieces that actually can't find ways to harmonize with each other. Right? I hope this makes sense. Right? And so what I have come to experience, right? And through what? Through energy healing, through energy trainings, like lots of energy trainings, right? Literally, it is all about just keep increasing your frequency over and over and over and over and over again to the point where higher frequencies become more of a habit than lower frequencies. Again, this is not me saying that low frequencies are a bad thing, that I'll never be there, blah, blah, blah. Those are just stories and illusions, right? All I'm saying is I know what has served me the best in my life has been into frequencies of love, frequencies of joy, frequencies of acceptance. Yeah. And so naturally, right? Naturally, whenever I fall down to poor me, whenever I fall down to, like, not loving myself, doubting myself, and all that, I just do what I know can get me back up to my higher frequencies. This is why most people tell me, Dehesa, you are so joyful. Some of my friends even tell me, I don't think I've ever seen you not joyful, right? And then one of my closest friends, right? One of my closest, here's the trick. One of my closest friends, like we've been friends for years and years and years and years. And like most of the times I'm pretty full of joy, right? Because I take this very seriously. It's my job. Like at any given, my number one goal every day is to be closer to my true essence, right? That's my number one goal every day, right? And so one day, does that mean that I don't get angry? That doesn't mean that at all. I do ask my husband, he'll tell you. He'll tell you when you get angry, it's not pretty, you know? And my friend, Julie told me the other day, oh my God, you never get really mad. But when you get mad, it is really, 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 really scary. Yeah, because like actually even being angry carries a certain amount of energy, believe it or not, right? I used to suppress my anger. I used to suppress my emotion. I used to do that a lot. that created all sort of stuff on my liver, actually, right? I used to do that a lot. And then everything is really a process. Everything is evolving, 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 right? And I got to the point where I started accepting my emotions. And now when I'm really angry at somebody, right? When I'm angry, it's because, first of all, let me explain this, right? This the way that I look at it now. When I'm angry, it's because a part of me is believing something that is different than what my true inner knowing is. That's all it means, right? Either I'm doubting myself, or like I'm not feeling worthy, or I feel like somebody is doing something to me that's making me feel like I'm not good enough. That means at that moment I'm already feeling that I'm not good enough. I am at the frequency where I don't know that I am good enough. And so somebody else is saying something that makes me feel that way. So he's validating, or she's validating something that I'm at that moment believing already. And so it makes me angry, right? And then it makes me angry. And so these days, when that happens, I'll literally look at the person and say, "You just made me so mad." Literally, when I say that, when I say you just made me so, and I literally allow all the energy to, sometimes it even comes out as like like how do you call it, like not it's like steam, literally, like sometimes it makes me so I'm like, oh my god, the first time, like it just literally came out like like literally like a steam out of my mouth, right? And that reminds me of, and sometimes it reminded me of like cartoons, right? Like when I was growing up, there were these cartoons where like literally fumes, when somebody's angry, fumes comes out of their ears and fume comes out of their nose and mouth. I've never experienced the nose one, but like I'll experience and then like literally like a heat and fume coming out of my ears, right? Because at that moment, like the emotion is already there, right? It's just energy, right? In like they say, in motion. At that moment, I can decide, no, I'm a good person. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to get angry and suppress the energy inside of my body and create some sort of disease, blockages of energy in my body. Or I can allow that energy and I can accept at that moment, I'm so angry right now, and allow the energy to literally shoot out of my body, out, out, out. And then at that moment, once I shoot that energy out of my body, then I ask myself, what made me feel this way? What did I believe? What was I thinking that is different than what my true inner knowing knows, that made me feel that way? And then there's a whole other kind of processing that happens after that, right? That has been some of my process, right? When it comes to negative emotions, right? When it comes to negative emotions, it's not about, oh, I'm such a good person, I don't do this. That's stories we're telling ourselves, actually, right? A lot of the times, especially when we're comparing ourselves to other people, I'm so good. They look at them, look at what they did, right? Gossiping, right? Look at how dare they do that. In reality, it's because we don't feel good enough about ourselves. In reality, it's because we don't feel good enough about ourselves. And so when we're doing that, at least I'm not that bad. At least I'm not that bad. At least I'm not that bad. But in reality, if you were to be honest with yourself, we all are that bad. We all are, right? Depending on whatever has happened to us in this lifetime, right? Depending on, our power of processing things, depending on, it's everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own uh, path that they have gone through, right? But at the end of the day, one thing that I know now for sure, all of us are capable of anything. And when I think about it that way, it gives me a lot of compassion, right? It gives me a lot of compassion. Not that if I see somebody killing somebody on the road, I'll just say, oh, I don't care. No. What I'll ask myself is, what can I do? What can I do in this situation? For the good of all, right? Even the person that may be the murderer also needs healing and also needs love. also. And I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, I know. It's easier said than done. I was actually having this discussion with, okay, let's not go there, with my friend the other day, how like she's very passionate because she's Caucasian, right? She's Caucasian and I'm African American, African, right? And so we live in this area where there is very little diversity. So she really passionately, she's very passionate about protecting me. She's truly passionate about it. I'm like, you don't need to, right? And so when she talks about how she, like last time we were talking, and she said there's no way in her heart that she can find love for a neo-Nazi, for example. And I shared that actually, everybody has their role, you know. Everybody that has their role. Does that mean I'm so pure? I'm probably be afraid if somebody was coming after me that they want to kill me, right? It doesn't mean that. But at least in my heart, my aim is to be able to love one person, even though they hate me. That is the ultimate love, right? That is the ultimate love. It's easy to love somebody that loves you. That's the easiest thing. Or it's easy to love somebody who believes the same things that you believe. That's the easiest thing. It's easy peasy. Everybody can do that. Anybody can do that, right? So for me, what I shared with her is I look at it from another perspective. I look at it as, oh, this is an opportunity for me to see how much capacity of love I have within me, to see how much is my capacity of compassion that I can have within me. That's their role. And every single one of us, we have roles that we play. At least I choose to believe so. I choose to believe so. Choose to believe so. Yeah. Um, yeah. Brenda said you have to love yourself unconditionally. Yeah, and that it's also easier said than done, isn't it? Yeah. And actually, a lot of the times we want to say like we can't do it with our mind. We cannot do it with our mind. Actually, we can trick ourselves in thinking that we can do it with our mind, but we can't actually, because the mind is also the same. You can't utilize the same tool to go to solve the same. You can't utilize a tool that is utilized to create the problem to solve the problem. You see what I mean? So for me, how I look at unconditional love is that it is a frequency. It is a frequency that you can tap into. When you raise your frequency, then you can actually taste what it tastes like to have unconditional love. Right? When I do trainings for people, even like at my retreat, when people come to Brenda, oh Brenda, I have good news, Brenda and Lillian. I think we might be doing our retreat in September. Just FYI, ladies, right? I'll confirm later. I think we're finally getting somewhere with this, right? Um, it is a frequency, right? This is why when I do, like a lot of people, like they break, actually like cries, tears start coming down, right? Tears start coming down because the resistance just starts falling away, right? This is not done by the mind. This is done by reaching a frequency, reaching there, right? And how do you reach those frequencies? Literally by pulling more like particles of life into your energy field, right? So when your energy field is weak, you fall into illusion. You fall into poor me. You fall into I can't do this. You fall into I'm not that beautiful. You fall into the illusion of all the boxes that other people have created for us, right? I must do it X, Y, Z, right? But when you feel your energy field is filled with particles of light, particles of, life particle, like we call it, right? When it's filled with that, then you go into the space of, oh, I can do this. I'm capable. Even though this is how I've created a lot of things in my life, by the way. The more I have increased my energy, like the strength of my energy field, the more I started believing, even though no one has done it before, I'm going to do it. Even though no one has done it before, I'm going to do it. Even though no, and I've done that over and over and over and over again, right? My mind before I actually got to this space was, let me get validation from other people. Let me think it's if it's possible. Let me ask. Like now I barely ask anybody. Like when like I feel inspired deeply. Like when I go within and I'm like, oh, this. Oh yeah, I'm going to do this, right? In the past, and most people actually do this. They want to ask validation from somebody from outside. And most of the times the person from outside, because they actually can't see it for you, they'll tell you, oh, well, this could go wrong, this could go wrong, this could go wrong. This is how we poison our mind, right? But in like for me now, like when I'm like I can be sleeping yesterday, like in the morning, I woke up, right? And I was so filled with literally felt like in my dreams, in my sleep, like so I just got flooded with all these beautiful ideas of things that I'm going to be doing in my work, in my business. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I have seen anybody doing this yet. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to execute, because I have so much confidence, right? Because simply because, again, like a lot of things have happened in my life that like logically from those things I shouldn't trust myself. I shouldn't believe in myself. I shouldn't believe that I'm capable of XYZ in my life right now, right? And through a lot of purification, right? Through a lot of literally, it's just purifying my mind. And a lot of, I pick this vision, I accomplished it. I pick this vision, I accomplished it. I pick this goal, I accomplished it. I have rewritten a lot of my story, right? Rewritten over and over and over and over again. The things that I used to believe, I no longer believe in them. Why? Because I have proven them to be not so true, right? I have proven the opposite to be true. So that is opposite. That which happened to me is possible, but also it is possible that I can create otherwise. That is how I also started increasing my confidence over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. All right. Lily says, hi, Lily. The reflection piece is always key because no one can make us angry. Anger is already within. Thanks of course, yeah. And again, there's nothing wrong with anger. Anger actually carries it has a lot of potent energy, right? Potent energy, and the energy of anger is much more potent than the energy of shame, for example. Not that there is anything, but like shame is very shrinking. Like when you are ashamed, you're like that, shrinking. But anger like carries a lot of energy. It's very potent, right? But there's even more potent than that. There's energy of joy. It's super potent, right? Which is why reaching those frequencies are so important for your creation, for creating your life the way that you want it, for actually also because that energy fuels you transmuting all these energies that you may have been carrying for so long. Gina, Brenda, Gina, I'm not telling you to go. I'm saying to do what's good for Jane, because what's good for Jane is good for all. Yes, I agree. What's good for Gina, what's good for Jane, what's good for Brenda is good for all, right? Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Okay, this is another discussion for another thing. Okay, so there are three ways that you can look at it. Something can be good for you and not good for others. That's possible, right? Something can be good for actually it is possible for things to be good for you in your mind, right? Okay, this is kind of like not from the perspective of your true self, but from the perspective of, oh, I want to protect myself, or it's all about me, right? Then you can think this is like literally like you can if you only thinking, like, you can think, oh, you see what I mean? It's like, if I'm only doing this for me, right? And then there's good for me and good for others, right? And then there is good for others only, right? And I've been all places, right? Good for me. Sometimes we can think good for me out of fear, right? Out of uh, whatever, right? But good for me from the perspective of oneness with yourself is good for all. You have to understand that, right? Good for you from the perspective of oneness with all is good for all. Good for me from the perspective of fear, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Again, this is not me advocating vaccine or no vaccine, not at all. Again, you have to do what you feel is best for you from the perspective of your true self. From the perspective of your true self, right? Not from the perspective of fear, or, you see what I mean? I hope that makes sense. This live was not about that at all, but I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing, right? Because I have done it, but always I've done it from the perspective of, let me do this, good for others, good for others, good for others, and then I neglected myself. Actually, what's good for others and not good for me, it's not good for anyone. Good for others and not good for me is not good for anyone. Not good for me, right? Good for only me, but hurts others is actually not good for you either. Believe that. You have to know that, right? Good for me, right? And again, this isn't about the vaccine at all. You have to check in and decide for yourself, right? Good for me, only me, I don't want to say, because selfish is a good thing too. I don't want to say in a selfish, like, good for me only from, oh, I'm so afraid I don't have enough, I'm so afraid, blah blah blah, let me protect myself, this is good for me, let me protect only me, and not thinking for others is actually not good for you, right? So good from my perspective, good for me has to be from the perspective of good for me, and good for me from the perspective of oneness with all that there is. Then you know it is good for others. Good for me and good for others. That, for me, in my perspective, is balance, right? Good for others and not good for me is actually not good for others. Good for me and not good for others is actually not good for me. That's how I look at it. That's my perspective, right? That's my perspective. All right. All right. So, with that said, who is up for getting connected with oneness with ourselves? Who's ready? Who wants to do that? I feel like my Sunday lives, like, every time we've done it up until now, we've done some energy trainings. This is my way of sharing my energy with you and connecting with you, so that we can all connect to the earth and to the universe as one. Today, I wanted to do something special. Today, at the end of this training, I wanted us to share light with the earth itself. I wanted us, first of all, to connect with ourselves first, right? To connect with the light within us first. And then from that perspective, to share our light with the earth and also with all humans on earth. Because at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, whether we consider some people, somebody good or bad, right? No matter what, we actually are from the same core, right? At the end of the day, we are all connected in one way or another, right? So as we send energy to the earth, and as we share energy with with all citizens of the earth, we are not only sending energy to them, we are also purifying ourselves. We are also increasing our connection with ourselves and also our connection with other people on the planet. Make sense? All right. Are you ready? Who's excited? Hi, Melody. How are you? Yes, we are one. Yes, we are one. Hi, Melody. Nice to see you. All right. So here we go. Any familiarity with lower abdomen tapping? Please make a fist and simply tap your lower abdomen. By tapping your lower abdomen, you are connecting with the part of your brainstem, which can feel your true essence. You can feel the connection to the universe itself. Keep exhaling out through your mouth. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck, relax your whole entire body. Keep going, keep going. I'm now just going to put on some music to guide us through it. This is our time to connect with ourselves and to connect with the earth and our inner light. Keep tapping your lower abdomen. Relax your shoulders. Relax your neck. Relax your whole body. Keep exhaling out through your mouth and keep tapping your lower abdomen. Relax your whole body. Relax your whole body. Start creating heat in your lower abdomen. Lower abdomen tapping, keep going. And slowly stop. And this time, tap your chest with your fingertips. Chin slightly down towards your chest. And release any hurt energy that you may be carrying in your chest. Any heaviness from painful memories. Have to release. Open up. Keep exhaling out through your mouth. Just keep exhaling out through your mouth. Keep exhaling out through your mouth. Keep tapping your chest. Let go. All the pain that we're holding on to, it's keeping us away from feeling our true love. Full unconditional love. Make a choice to let go. Decide to let go. All the fear, let go. Awaken the love within you. Within you, you have protection. Within you, you have unconditional love. Open up, open up. Feel the heaviness lifting. Your chest is becoming lighter and lighter. Keep exhaling out through your mouth. Your chest is lighter, coming lighter and lighter. Sometimes as your chest is lifting, you may feel some emotion lifting. You may feel some tears. Let it flow, let it go. And slowly stop. Now bring your hands facing your chest. Feel the energy exchange between your hands and your chest. It may feel like tingling sensation. It may feel like magnetic sensation. It may feel like warm sensation. Your whole energy field is being activated. Your heart opens. Your chest becomes lighter and lighter. Move your hands back and forth and notice the sensation increasing and becoming stronger. Feel your whole body becoming more and more relaxed. Keep moving slightly back and forth. Now bring your hands facing each other. Feel the tingling sensation or magnetic sensation, a warm sensation between your hands. It almost feels like an energy ball between your hands. With that sensation, move your hands back and forth. Keep moving your hands back and forth. Keep moving your hands back and forth. Your whole body becomes more and more relaxed. Your mind becomes clearer and clearer. Now that we are in this space, bring your hands a little bit more apart as you keep feeling the sensation of energy between your hands. Now imagine between your hands is our beautiful planet Earth in all her glory. Now through your hands, through your heart, through your mind, send rays of pure cosmic light into the earth. See all the people of the earth in your imagination. What do you wish for all the people of the earth? Send them pure light from your heart. They all bright, joyful, connected to themselves, connected to the earth. Now, slowly bring your hands on your chest. Take a deep breath in and exhale out through your mouth. Take a deep breath in, exhale out through your mouth. Last time, inhale and exhale. And slowly return. Can you share what your experience was with me, please? What did you feel? What was your experience? How do you feel in your heart? How did you feel when you shared light with the earth? How do you feel in your body now? So quiet. All right. While I'm waiting for your comments to pop up, sometimes it's delayed. It looks like. Uh, oh my God! Can you actually hear my son? Oh, Google. Oh, it's Google. Hey Google. Hey Google, shut up. All right. All right. So while I'm waiting for you guys to share your comments, Sid said, beautiful. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having this experience together. Um, while I'm waiting for all your comments to come up, here's my official invitation. There are two things that are going on energy wise right now in the Hesses world. One thing, you can always like Energy Immersion Circle, which is my 6 month membership, where we do a lot of this, like pulling energy into your field for the purpose of really becoming more joyful, like healing a lot of relationships in your life, and becoming like mindful with your creation and creativity in your life. It is 6 months membership, and some ladies in here are already in there. I love that you come to Energy Mission Circle and you also come to YouTube experience. So thank you for being here, ladies. So that's that. If you are interested, reach out. You can always put a comment in here, or if you are on my email list, uh, you can email me, or I'll also put a link onto this video after it's done for you to check out Energy Immersion Circle. A lot of purification happens there. A lot of self-healing happens there. A lot of growth happens there. A lot of love, heart opening happens there. Everything that I shared with you here, I shared there, and so much more. There's so much more to it than what I shared here with you here. And the other thing that is happening is that on May the 5th, I believe, on May the 5th, for those of you who are like, I like this, I want to learn more, I want to experience this, but I'm not ready to do a 6 month commitment to do these trainings with me. What I decided to do is to actually do a master class where I share all the step by steps with you. I share how to increase your magnetism. I share the mindset part for like how to align your mind with what you want to create in your life, how to purify your energy field, how to make your energy brighter, how to I talked about your energy field earlier, how when you feel, when you have a lot of energy accumulated into your field, then magnetism, when you're thinking about what you want to create, it happens much faster. But when you are weak in that energy, when your energy is weak, actually, not only like that means you are not able, I'll explain the science behind this. Why are you not able to attract faster the things that you want to create in your life? Because then you are falling into what I called earlier illusion, the illusions of I can't do this, the illusions of lower frequencies, right? The illusions of this is not possible for me, doubting yourself, or illusion of falling into focusing all of your energy into the fears of what you don't want to create, which you end up creating. But the more you increase your energy, the more you are into the frequencies of joy, the frequencies of I can do this, the frequencies of will, you're more willing to take action. The frequencies of the higher frequencies, right? I have practiced this over and over and over and over again. The reason why I made it 6 months, it's because I know, like, a lot of the time, Brenda, who's here, actually, one of the things that happened for her once she started doing this practice is that her health got much better. Like, we did, I remember there's a video where she's actually like sharing with me in tears how this has impacted her life, because everything is related to that, right? uh, our mind creates our energetic condition, which also creates the health in our body, right? Our mind creates whether we are healthy or not in our body. Our minds and our energy condition, right? Our energy condition uh, determines how much we are able to create and attract what it is that we want to attract in our lives, right? And so some people may say to me, but there are people who don't do your energy work, but who are creating a lot of different things in their life. I do not disagree. I do not disagree, but I can promise you this is that everybody, like, I was actually watching one of Tony Robbins' videos the other day. Uh, and like, I was so amazed. Like, have you seen this? It's called, what is it called? I'm not your guru. Like, I cried at the end of that video because I'm like, that's it. Right? But one thing that I like, even as I was watching, I'm like, oh yeah, right? Of course, he increases his energy. Of course, because that's the foundation of everything, right? So maybe because we are seeing, so, and I'm not saying my way of practicing is the only way, for goodness sake, it's not the only way. If you have your way of increasing and if it's working for you, oh my God, kudos to you. The more the merrier, right? The more the merrier. I'm not saying my way is the only way, but what I'm saying is that my way has helped me so tremendously, going from like self-doubt, not believing, like really erasing, literally erasing, or like really changing and reframing a lot of my limiting beliefs from where I was before to where I am now, right? To literally, like I said, that's like, when I tell you now, when I'm talking about 25K, when I'm talking about all these things that are happening in my life right now, it is not a big deal. Like, I really have to share this. It is not a big deal, right? I have shared this with my ladies in energy immersion circle before. All that could go away tomorrow, and it won't change me because I have my foundation, right? Because I have my foundation. Because at the end of the day, to me, that is the most important. And because I know that I have the foundation, I can recreate anything I want. Which brings me to the point where I can let go very easily of anything and of all. At least that's what I aim for, right? I've shared recently how my aim in life now is to live my life by design, but being in a space where I can let go of anything and all at any given moment, which means life by design without any attachment. By design for the purpose of discovering the fullness of who I am, for the purpose of discovering just how much love I have within me. for that purpose. For that purpose. Yeah. Because we get so attached to things, right? We get so attached to things. We get so attached. Yes, there's a survival mode where like we need to pay our bills and we need to do all these things, right? Somebody may say to me, hey, this is easy for you to say, right? But I have seen it all in my life, actually. I've been, you name it, I've seen it. I've been here and there and there. I've seen it all, but at the end of the day, we came here. I came here when I was born. I didn't have a house. I didn't have money. But I had my soul. I had my soul. Right? And with conditioning, somehow, some way, there was a disconnect. And so my sole purpose in my life now is reconnecting with the power of who I am. And through these energy trainings, that's how I do it. Through these energy trainings, that's how I do it. That's how I reconnect with that part of who I am. And as long as I have that, I have everything. And I have it all. As long as I have that, I have everything and I have it all. I have it all. And so my goal now, oh, this could make me cry. Oh, my goal now is to share that with others. Am I the only one that's doing this in the world now? No, no. But I can do my part. Oh God, what's happening to me today? But I can do my part. And that's why I want to share this with you. If you have your own way, perfect. That's amazing. But if you are looking for a way to discover this, right? Despite all the pain, despite all the uh, trauma, despite all that may have happened in your life, if now you are ready, you're like, I'm done. I'm ready to go deeper. I'm ready to go deeper, right? And I talk about manifestation a lot, but that is just the surface. That's just a consequence. That is just a consequence of deep connection with myself. That's just it. That's just the ripple effect of that. That's just the ripple effect of that, right? And again, everything, all can go away at any given moment. But as long as I have that, that's all I need, right? And actually, what I know now is that it's only when we have that disconnect that we feel that fear that I'm not going to be okay. That's all that, like we live in that space, right? But when we are connected, sometimes, sometimes when I'm so deeply connected with myself, things happen. And in my mind, like my conditioned mind is like, Tessa, you should be angry at this. But in my heart, I don't feel it. It's all about energy. It's all about frequencies. It's all about energy and it's all about frequencies. And so if you're like, yes, I want to experience this with you, Tessa, please, I would love to have you join us in Energy Immersion Circle. If you are like, I want to experience this, but I'm not willing to commit for 6 months to do this, that's okay too. I can show you in my masterclass. I'm calling it Energetically Magnetic. It's happening on May the 5th. That one is a much lower investment price point to make it accessible to all. For now, like later on, the price will go up. For right now, it's $67.97 for early bird price, and I'm just so excited. Right, my heart is full. Just from sharing these things with others, right? People's lives are being transformed by this, right? People are going from depression to, from depression and anxiety to feeling, being able to manage that, feeling full, feeling fulfilled, feeling one with themselves, right? People are going from, oh my God, I didn't know I can do this, to, oh my God, like really becoming very intentional with their creation and with their manifesting in their lives, right? People like literally their health condition, digestion, and constipation and all that, like lifting, because these are the things that I personally, again, these are just the side effects of a lot of like energetic condition in our body, which also equates to like either connection or disconnect with our true essence, with our true being within us, right? So if you are interested, I would love to see you in either energy immersion circle or in the masterclass. I'll be excited to share all that with you. I'll share with you how to, like, like around your body, right? There's I love that there's science behind this. Around your body, when I'm talking about your energy field, it's almost like a donut, right? Like it's like a donut. Who's ever heard of this? Like a donut shape. Who's ever heard of this or ever seen this before? Can you let me know in the comments, right? And that donut shape energy field, right? Taurus is what either like it can. There are things that you can do to like pull, right? And even though I never talked about this like this in energy immersion circle, that's what we do. Uh, Pull energy into your field, and when you pull enough energy into your field, right? Literally you kind of feel full, right? Your frequency rises, you are like more joyful, you more loving naturally, you understand other people, you don't expect other people to be the ones doing something so that you are fulfilled, and so on. And there's so much more to this, right? And then like when the more energy, the more particles you pull into that torus, that donut shaped energy field that is around your body, right? That you may not see with your physical eyes. The more energy you pull into it, the more it actually kind of propels garbage out of your energy field. Do you see where I'm going with this? What does this mean? That no matter what has happened to you, you have the power today to actually change your information. You have the power today to actually release that garbage information that's keeping you from being the fullness of who you are. You have the capability, you have the capacity to do that, right? And I can show you how, either in the masterclass or in energy immersion circle. The difference is that in energy immersion circle, then you have my support for 6 whole entire months for this. And for the masterclass, you actually get to share this with you, and then you get to do that on your own. All right. So, any questions? Brenda says, if anybody has the opportunity to do this, take it from somebody who knows it really will help you. Hi, Brenda. Thank you. Uh, Brenda said, yes, I love energy immersion circle. Everybody is so kind and beautiful. Oh, yeah. I mean, we have the most beautiful, amazingly beautiful souls in there, if I can say so myself, right? Let me say, okay, let me see your reaction to what you said before. I felt very emotional. Melody said, I felt the calmness. I had the earth citizens, yay, to love themselves and one another. I love this. And peace over earth. I love this. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I'll put all the links below this video for you if you wanted to join us. I'll be excited to have you join us so that we can have all these experiences together. Have a wonderful. I can't believe we've been here like almost 2 hours. The has. I get so passionate. I forgot about the time. I forget about the time. All right. I love you so much. Have a beautiful Sunday, and I'll see you again soon. I'll see you again here next Sunday live. Bye. Bye, everybody.